Vladimir, please describe your activities.
Well, my name is Vladimir Stantchev, and I am the Executive Director of the Institute of Information Systems at SRH University, Berlin. SRH University is one of the universities of the SRH group that does education and healthcare.
So, what is the functionality of blockchain? How does it work? How can anybody profit from it?
Well, general blockchain is what we call a distributed ledger functionality. So the core concept is similarly as, say, 3 centuries ago, you would go to the pub, and if you're not able to pay, you would have a ledger that you would share with the pub owner so that next time you can pay what you owe, and you both have a copy of this ledger so that you know nobody is tampering with it. That's the idea that's behind blockchain, to have such a ledger.
So what do you need, infrastructure-wise, application-wise, to realize it?
Well, it's a distributed ledger. So basically the idea is to not keep only the copies with your pub owner and yourself as the patron of the pub, but to have copies of this ledger distributed widely. This is distributed in the different nodes that actually process this chain of transactions, and you need something that's called a consensus protocol that basically ensures that at the end you have a single version of the truth, and that you are somehow avoiding malicious nodes in the network from tampering with this truth and changing it.
So it's all about transmitting and archiving and accessing information, right?
Well, the technology is basically about creating an immutable record of what has happened. Whether the thing that happens is transactions related to the exchange of cryptocurrency or some other currency, or something else that happens with data, that's the question of the use case. The really interesting use cases are these that somehow consider the coin, the digital currency, as a mean to allocate scarce resources, be it financial resources or computing resources or something else.
So in concrete, how can healthcare benefit from this technology?
Well, healthcare is a strongly regulated sector, and a big part of the regulation concerns data protection and information security in healthcare. Basically, if you take the example of Germany, data protection regulations for a German hospital differ enormously depending on whether the hospital is situated in Hamburg or in Berlin, whether it is a kind of municipal hospital or a private hospital, and also depending on the specific use case where you are kind of working with patients. So whether it's a health care law related thing or whether it is something related to social laws, very often these regulations are different. So this has been historically a very strong burden for innovation in healthcare, particularly for information and data-driven innovation in healthcare, that you as the responsible for the information security in a healthcare organization, you have to be very protective with everything that's going on with patients' data, because it's the most sacred data that you have. And blockchain can give you a tool or a kind of methodology, a framework, where you will be able to actually record all consents that patients give you, that you will be able to incentivize patients to give you a consent to process their data further by, for instance, using crypto coins to incentivize them to do that. And even more important, you can have an unbreakable record of everything that happens with their data. So you have a very strong proof when you have to show to auditors, for instance, what has happened with the patient's data.